Sefer Shemuel Aleph Per Gima. Okay, וענה שמואל משרת את אדוני לפני עלי ודבר השם היה יקר בימים ההם אין חזון נפרץ. So he calls him Nar. He's a lad, young lad, Shemuel. He's serving Hashem before Eli. The word of Hashem was scarce in those days. Vision was not widespread. Okay, so there was not so many prophets that time. Okay, it happened to be one day that Eli was laying down. His eyes became dim. He could not see. He became sort of blind. So what happened? Then the lamp of Hashem has not gone out. Shmuel was lying down also. And what happened? Hashem called to Shemuel. Hashem starts talking to Shemuel. Shemuel gets prophecy. Vayomer hineni. He said to Hashem, "Here I am. I'm listening." And then he ran to Eli and he said, "Here I am, for you called me." But he thought who was talking to him? He thought Eli. He thought Eli was calling him. So he went to Eli and he says, "Okay, what do you need?" Eli's like, I didn't call you. What are you coming to me for?" So you go back and lay down. He went back and lay down. Hashem called him again, Shemuel. He went to Eli again. He said, "Hey, you called me." He said, "I didn't call you. Go lay down." Shmuel didn't even know Hashem was talking to him, and then he called him a third time. And Eli's like, "Listen, you keep coming. There's nobody here, just me and you. Like, Hashem is speaking to you. You're getting prophecy. You don't even realize." So then he says, "Go and lay down. If he calls you another time, you should say, 'Speak Hashem, for your servant is listening.'" He taught him how to receive the prophecy. So Shmuel heard the prophecy 3 times. And he went to Eli, and he said, "Here I am." It's to show you that Shmuel didn't get upset that Eli called him multiple times. He thought that maybe, why are you going to Eli again if he told you I didn't call you the first time? Why are you going again? So he was humble. He said, maybe he did call me this time. Maybe he really needs me. He didn't care to go multiple times to him. That's what the sages tell us was his humility. And then now he teaches him that and he had to convince Shmuel. Shmuel was so humble he didn't realize Hashem would talk to him. He never thought for a second it's God. He never thought for a second God is talking to him. And Eli had to tell him God's talking to you. So then he lay down and Hashem called him again. He said, "Shemuel, Shemuel." Okay, he says, "Hashem, I'm here, I'm listening." The pasuk says, Hashem said to Shemuel, "I'm going to do such a thing in Israel. When anyone hears about it, both of his ears will ring. Tatzilena shte oznav. On that day, I'll fulfill what I said to Eli." What did he tell Eli? He cursed his family. He told him, "Your kids misbehaved in the Mishkan, so you guys all be cursed, die by age 40, and I'm going to do it. On that day, I fulfill it. I have told him I'll execute judgment on his house forever for the sin he committed, and therefore I swore to the house of Eli, the sin of the house of Eli will never be atoned by a sacrifice or meal offering. You can't give some korban and get rid of this decree. It's going to be enduring forever because of the big chilul Hashem that he did in the Mishkan. To show you that the bigger, it's not just the people who did the sin, it's the place they did it. The place they did it is the house of Hashem. When it comes to the house of Hashem, Hashem is big judgment. You can't think it's gonna. Oh, and you'll give him a korban. You did the sin with the korbanot. You think a korban is gonna fix this? You messed up with the korbanot. So therefore, it makes sense that as the sages say, "En kategor na'aseh sanegor." The thing that causes the problem, the thing that is prosecuting will become all of a sudden a defender. It can't be. So therefore they can't. There's no way out. Right? It says, "Lechen ishbati lebet Eli." Hashem swore. Hashem said, "I have to do it." So the sages say though in Masechet Yevamot, he said through a sacrifice you won't atone it. Why do you have to tell us that? Just saying nothing will atone it. No. A sacrifice won't, but something else could. What's something else? That's studying Torah and doing chesed. Because it says Rabbah and Abaye. I told you last time they were both from house of Eli. Rabbah survived till age 40, and Abaye, who also did learning and chesed, he lived till 60. So you see that you could get rid of it through Torah and chesed.
Also, death could be the atonement itself also, right?
Yeah, but then you're going to die young, Chas Shalom.
Yeah.
Shmuel laid until the morning, and he opened the doors of the house of Hashem. And Shmuel was fearful of telling Eli his vision. So Eli says, listen, tell me, what did you see? Don't be afraid of me. Tell me what he said. He said, I don't know, I'm going to tell Eli that God said you're never going to get rid of your decree. All your descendants are going to die young. It's a little bit of uncomfortable conversation. So Shmuel told him all the words. They didn't hold anything from him. Listen, it's not me. I'm just telling you what Hashem said. Shmuel grew up, and Eli said, Hashem will do what's good in his eyes. What should I do? Shmuel grew up, and Hashem was with him. Right? Vayigdal Shmuel v'Hashem haya imo v'lo yipil mikol devarav arza. Anything that Shmuel said never fell on the ground. What does that mean? It never fell on the ground. It means that it was accepted. It's not that he said something, it didn't come true. Now it became famous. Now the whole nation is starting to find out that Shemuel is a prophet for the Jewish people. It says interesting. It says that from Dan to Beersheba. So why are you mentioning Dan to Beersheba? So it says that all the prophets, even Moshe and David, they had some challengers, right? Moshe had Korah, David had Shimei ben Gera. Everybody, there was always a naysayer. Shmuel was very unique. He never had anybody challenge him. Everybody was like, yeah, Shmuel's the best. Shmuel's awesome. Shmuel's good. Everything Shmuel says is good. So we find that's nobody. Only by Shemuel. So in a way, he was greater than Moshe. But now problems. Okay, now Shmuel's the prophet officially. Now the problems start. What's the problems? In Perek Dalet, so we have the ark. And what happened? The word of Shemuel befell all of Israel. Hashem told him another prophecy. He says that Israel's going to go to war against Plishtim. They camped at Even Ezer, and the Plishtim were at Afek. The battle spread. They killed 4,000 men. And then you're going to come to the camp. The people said, why did Hashem kill us today? We lost. We know what we should do. In order to win the next fight, we have to take the ark with us. If we take the ark with us, Hashem, it means like the Shekhinah is with us. We can't lose, right? We must win, right? So then the people sent to Shiloh. They brought the ark of the covenant, and the two sons of Eli, Chofni and Pinchas, were along with the ark. And the ark went to the camp. They blew Bruk Shofar, and the ground started shaking. So you see already, they felt the Shekhinah is with them. The Plishtim heard this. They said, what is this? And then they found out that they brought this holy artifact, the ark. The Plishtim were afraid. They said, oh no, the God of Israel has come to fight against us. We're going to lose. So who's going to save us? This is the same God who struck the Egyptians. They're going to strike us. But the Plishtim, anyways, they fought. They fought against the Jews. And the Jews lost. 30,000 foot soldiers fell from Israel. And the Plishtim took the ark. They said, aha, we got your God. We got your stuff. So then a Binyamini man, the Pasuk says a Binyamini man, Ish Binyamin, he ran with his clothing ripped, dirt in his head. He came to see Eli. Eli was sitting in a chair, and his heart was fearful. He was nervous. I hope that we win the war. I don't know what's going to happen to the ark. I hope we get the ark back. That was what Eli was thinking. Eli heard this guy crying, coming to tell the news. Eli was 99 years old. His eyes became motionless, and he could not see. He hears the tragic news. What happened? What's the report? The Binyamin man says that 30,000 people died, and they took the ark. Eli was leaning on his chair. He fell off his chair backwards, and he died. He broke his neck, and he died. For the man was old and heavy. The Pasuk says, "V'yipal me'al hakiseh ahoranit, ותשבר מפרקתו, וימות כי זקן האיש וכבד, והוא שפט ישראל 40 שנה."
Mostly Benjamin's tribe died?
No. Just the Binyamini man, he was the one who ran. They're fast. They're fast people, so they ran fast to go tell the news. There was no WhatsApp. So then he heard the news, he fell backwards and he died. Very tragic day. He broke his neck. Okay, we're going to see why he had to go through that. But let's go back a little bit. So what happened? So why did they take the ark? What is that? What are they doing? So really, there's different opinions of. We know that there's the luchot that Moshe Rabbeinu got, then he broke them, and then there's a second luchot. We kept both. We always had both sets. So now the question is, were both set kept in the ark, or if the broken luchot were in a separate aron? So there's some opinions say they were together. So now, so the Plishtim, they saw the aron the first time, they were scared. It seems like this is the first time in history they brought a aron to a war, and it makes sense that there was only one, right? It doesn't make sense that they had two, because then why didn't they do this before? So it makes sense there was only one. They were scared to take it out, but they did take it out. Now the question is that what? When they used to travel, they used to take it with them, but not to go to war. That they never did.
There's something to war, no?
I'm not sure. Okay. Anyways, so then what happens? Then it says that he goes and he falls off his chair and he dies. He cracked his neck. So, but why did he die this way? So the Gemara in Chulin says, people and items that come in contact under the same roof as a corpse, so they get ohel tameh, right? They get tumat ohel. So he says, however, we have a teaching. If a person's neck bone breaks, together with most of the flesh that's on it, he's considered dead even if some of his limbs are still moving. So the pasuk says he fell off his chair backwards, breaking his neck, and he dies. So this sounds like even if his neck breaks, he's considered immediately dead, even if his skin's not broken. So the Gemara says what? In most cases, a person's dead only if the skin is broken. And he was different. Since he was very old, just breaking his neck is enough to kill him. A person could survive a broken neck. It has to be that it's ripped off in order for a person to die. But Eli was so old, so his neck, the neck represents the throat also. It says that Arizal says that Moshe, the Shekhinah was in his throat, right? And the neck represents whether Yosef and Binyamin, they cried on each other's necks. The necks represent the connection this world and next. That's why it's the Mikdash. They were crying about the Mikdash, but the Mikdash is like the neck, connects this world to the spiritual worlds. So why did his neck break? You could say that he didn't rebuke his sons, right? The big teaching we sing all the time, Shema beni Musa, right? Avicha, right? So a person has to listen to his father, and if a father doesn't rebuke, that's how you get a kid who's lost in life. So maybe you could say his neck, which is their throat that you should have used, ended up being broken.
But then when you see in the way, my experience is that he broke his neck and then he died. Maybe he broke his neck, lived, and then he died. Is that possible?
No. It says that he died over there. He died over there.
Right?
He died over there.
What does the whole have to do with? You started off with that.
Yes, meaning to say that the Gemara wants to say that breaking your neck, just because a guy broke his neck, don't think it's a corpse right away. Right. Usually people live. But here, they want to learn from here, no, a guy who breaks his neck, you should assume that he's tameh right away. He's a corpse. No, the Gemara says this is different. Eli was different. Because he was old, so that's why he died right away. Usually the person doesn't die from a broken neck. But he was old, so that's why he was heavy. He was also heavy. That's why Pasuk says he was heavy. So therefore, that's why he died right away. But the point is that the Mishkan, the sin of the sons of Eli was also in the Mishkan. And the Mishkan we're saying is like the neck, is corresponding to the neck. Paro, we said that the reason you flip the letters, ha'oref, is the nape of the neck. Right? Because Paro, he doesn't connect to any spirituality. He wants just a flat connection, just purely desire. So therefore, you see that that's what this death represents. It represents the Mishkan, and it represents the lack of rebuke, and that's why he had to die that way. But in horrible, he heard bad news of the Aron. You could say it's also judgment on him. You're worried about the Aron? You should have worried about the Aron before. You should have worried about the Mishkan before. Why are you only worried about the Aron? So then he heard those news, he died right away. Yeah. So a person has to be careful not to be on one hand I care, and on the other hand you don't care. Either you care or you don't care. What is that? When he wants to care, he cares. When he doesn't want to care, then that's a big judgment. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen.